The Banner of the Crescent Moon, Historical War Hungary, 1526. During the Battle of Mohacs between the Ottoman Empire and the Kingdom of Hungary. The Banner of the Crescent Moon. The river Danube once ran blue across the Kingdom of Hungary, its banks heavy with wheat and song. Villages rose like candle flames, and in the grand halls of Buda, kings toasted victories that would not last. But in the summer of 1526, clouds gathered from the south. Clouds shaped like ships, like swords, like crescent moons. And in the village of Mohacs, a boy watched them from a hill of sunflowers, a carved flute in his hand. His name was Istvan, and though he had never touched a sword, he would one day be called the last to sing before the fire. The boy and the beekeeper Istvan lived with his grandfather, a blind beekeeper named Martin, who told stories as thick as honey of saints buried in the hills, of Janos Hunyadi and the wars against the Turks, of sultans who wrote poetry and kings who forgot how to pray. Remember, Martin would say, a soldier dies once, a storyteller never. But that summer, even stories tasted like ash. The Ottomans were coming. Suleiman the Magnificent himself led the army, 100,000 strong. Hungary's young King Louis, barely 20, rushed to meet them with 30,000 men, half of them untrained farmers. The fate of an empire rode on borrowed horses. The arrival of the Red Riders. It was August when the soldiers arrived in Mohacs, tired, thin, but proud. Among them rode Captain Thomas Varga, a man with one eye in armor that had seen better centuries. He set up camp beside the village. Istvan snuck through the grass to watch them train. The clang of steel echoed through the trees. The men laughed too loudly. Some prayed, others drank. Varga caught Istvan spying. Instead of scolding him, he handed him a bugle. "Can you blow it?" Istvan tried and failed. "Good," Varga said, smiling. "Means you're not foolish enough to think it's a game." The night before battle, the air hung still. Even the bees were silent. Varga gathered his men beneath the stars and told them the plan: to strike first, fast, and drive the Ottomans back across the swampy plains. But everyone knew it was hope more than strategy. Istvan sat beside his grandfather, who traced the stars with his fingers. "They say Suleiman carries a golden standard," Martin whispered, "a banner of the crescent moon. If it rises above Mohacs, we'll forget who we are." "I won't forget," Istvan said. He held his flute close, carved from cherry wood. He would not let it break. The Battle of Mohacs, August 29th, 1526. It began with thunder. Cannons roared. Smoke thickened. Rain fell. Hungarian cavalry charged. For a moment, the Turks faltered. But then, the trap. Ottoman janissaries and elite troops surged forward from the flanks. Hungarian lines crumbled in the marshes. Armor sank in mud. Horses drowned. Flags vanished. King Louis fled and drowned in a flooded stream. Captain Varga fell with 5 arrows in his chest. By noon it was over. The plains were red and Mohacs was ash. Among the ashes, Istvan survived by hiding beneath a broken wagon. He saw the Ottomans pass, not beasts, but men. Some wept. Some helped the wounded on both sides. Others sang as they raised the banner. The crescent moon fluttered above the village chapel. His grandfather did not survive. Istvan buried him with honeycomb as he'd asked, and then he played. The song after the war. Istvan's flute echoed across the ruins, a soft, sorrowful song. It drifted through smoke and silence. An Ottoman officer approached, his face unreadable. "You play like a man twice dead," he said in accented Hungarian. "I play because someone must remember," Istvan answered. The officer paused. removed a small pouch from his side. It was filled with silk, gold thread wrapped around a broken crescent. He handed it to Istvan. "Keep this. One day stories will ask which flag flew first. You'll know which flew last." Years later, Istvan grew into a man of books, not battles. He became a court musician in Transylvania. But in private, he told stories of the last stand at Mohacs, of the broken banner, of the beekeeper who read stars. And always he ended with a single phrase: "We lost the kingdom, but not the song." In the archives of Buda centuries later, in a sealed library beneath Buda Castle, a small case was discovered. Inside, a cherrywood flute, worn by time, a folded cloth bearing the faded threads of gold and crescent, and a note. This is not a relic, it is a reminder that those who sing last sing longest.